Hey everybody, welcome to FabFit Friday. This is a action-packed um this is an action-packed episode because I'm going to be talking about two different things, and I just got back from Kansas City. I did a 3-day workshop, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was amazing. I had such a good time working with Kansas City, Missouri ASG ladies and also customers of the Kansas City Maker Studio and Fabric Store. I will tell you that I don't think I've been to a fabric store with such a nice classroom. There were two big screen TVs that I could connect my laptop to, so when I did my slideshows, it was really easy for people to see what I was doing. And the tables, you could lift them up or down to be a little higher or lower depending on your comfort for your back. Very brightly lit, huge room. And then they had tons of fabric. And of course they had garment fabric, so I did a little shopping. And I'm going to be doing a fabric haul video Monday at 6 p.m. for Cool Tools next week. And during that video, I will share a coupon code so you can get a discount if you want to go check out Kansas City Maker Studio and Fabric online shop. I will tell you, nicest people, and that's where I like to spend my money, with nice people. So very nice people, very nice fabric selection. If you're a quilter or you're a garment sewer, there's something for everybody. And I will be sharing the fabric haul from that on Monday. You can see I'm wearing my top that I made 2 Fridays ago out of the Bias Cut Blueprint book. And I was thinking about some of the things about it that aren't working for me. And if we remember, I wanted to make my boxes match on the seams. So I cut it smaller so I could cut on the white lines instead of using my exact measurement. And I think that made it a little bit snug. And then when I was fitting the back neck, I think my darts were a little bit too long. So I'm going to regroup and try again. And this time I used my exact measurements and I didn't add length, because if you use the basic, and remember I'm talking about this book here, right? So if you're using the basic method to create your tube, your bias tube, the length has to be longer than the width, and my width is longer than my length, probably because of my G-cup size. So I decided I would try the wide tube method. Now the wide tube method allows you to have your tube be wider than it is long, although there was only 2-inch difference between my width and my length. So my width was 36 and my length was 34. So I can imagine now when I show you my tube and how it came out, I think if, like, let's say my width and my length were equal, the bias seams, or the seams that you're sewing to create the bias tube, would create a crisscross, like a plus sign, because mine are very close together. So I'm going to show you that. The other thing I want to talk about is the, I want to talk about subscriber Q&A. I did a tutorial showing how to add a pocket to the Easy Fit and Sew yoga pants. Now, if you've made the Easy Fit and Sew yoga pants, you know that I'm wearing them. So I'm just going to show you here. Whoops. Let me just lower this a little bit so you can see. It's a one-piece leg, and I had to cut a panel to create the pocket. So here is my pocket, and I wore these to the gym this morning to test them out, and I need to take it in a little bit. It's too big through here, because I'm happy to report that I'm actually my smallest weight that I've been in such a long time. I'm now 4 pounds under 200 pounds. I'm so excited. So I think my patterns are now starting to feel a little bit loose, like my knit pattern. So I'm going to take these yoga pants in. I didn't like adjust anything. I just cut them out of my personal pattern, and then I showed how to make a side panel to add a pocket. So I'm going to start with that first. Oh, before I do that, I want to show you my beautiful Pendleton wool. So I stayed with Karen at this event this weekend, and I kind of went shopping. Let me just blow this out a little bit so it's brighter here so you can see. She had a lot of fabrics. She used to work and drive by a Pendleton wool store. So she had some of this really pretty plaid. It's got a, like blue and mustard stripes, and then there's navy and ecru, and I think that's navy cross woven with the ecru. But this is a really cool plaid. I'm going to be using this fabric this weekend. I'm teaching my shirt jacket class for Fabric Mart. I have 7 students signed up, which is a really nice small size for me. These kinds of classes, when they're smaller, are a lot of fun because I can spend more time with each student. If anybody would like to join me for this class, it is possible to get the PDF version of the pattern and be ready by tomorrow. It's from 1 to 4, both Saturday and Sunday. And if you work in between the classes, you can probably finish this up in a weekend. It's a really nice, fun, quick project, especially if you use Ultra Suede for the facings. Let me just show you here. So if you use Ultra Suede for the facings and the like the facing for the button placket, under collar, cuffs, and everything, you don't have to finish the edges, so it makes doing the facings so much easier and quicker. So I am going to be teaching this on tomorrow and the next day. If anyone wants to join me, there's still some spots, and it still will be a small class. I'm super excited, you know, because any day I get to teach is a great day. So I'll be using this Pendleton wool. I'm going to pre-wash it. I haven't washed it yet, but it's really nice. So if Karen is watching me, thank you so much, Karen. I had an amazing time at her house. She's such a wonderful hostess to, you know, stay with if you ever have to. I really enjoyed myself. So there's that. Now what I want to do is show you this. I just want to review this one really quickly. And I'm gonna just darken up my thing here. So you can tell the thumbnail of this video is actually me at the gym wearing my Easy Fit and Sew yoga pants with the pocket, and I put my phone in the pocket, and I had my friend Richard take a picture of me when I was doing squats at the squat bar so you could see me in action. So here is what I discovered about the pocket. And you know, I just do things and then I fine tune them as I go. So let's just line this up so you can see here. All right, so this is what the pattern looks like. It's got 3 pieces. So you've got your front panel here, the middle panel here. Let's move this out of the way for a minute. And you have the back panel here. So it's a 3-piece leg, and I drafted the pocket here. Now, to decide where I wanted this pocket, I kind of reached down from my waist to feel where I would, like, you know, grab my phone, for example. And what I've discovered is this is a little bit too low. Hey, Mary, welcome. You're not really late. It's only, you know, you're good. I'm reviewing my instructions for adding a pocket to the Easy Fit and Sew yoga pants because I did that for subscriber Q&A, and I just want to do some fine tuning here after testing it at the gym. So basically now what I want to show you is I put the pocket, I made it a smaller pocket so it would, you know, my phone would fit in there, but also I could get it out without digging in the pocket. So 2 things about the pocket. Thing 1, when I'm wearing the yoga pants, and I mentioned in the beginning, I'm like at my lowest weight that I've been in years, and I'm super excited. Under 200 pounds now, very, very excited. But I didn't, this pattern is now loose. So the leg itself is a little bit loose, but also I think the outside of the pocket needs to be a little narrower than the leg panel, because then it will hold whatever you're putting in your pocket a little bit more firmly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm literally just going to I'm going to draw a line down the center of, or somewhere in the middle of this pocket, and I'm literally going to just take out, let's say 3/8 of an inch. I think that'd be a good amount. So there's the 3/8 of an inch. And then I'm just gonna, well, you can either pleat it out or slash and overlap it out. I think I'll slash and overlap it because it's a little bit, I think if it was a little narrower, it would hold stuff in the pocket more closely to your body. So essentially, I'm just gonna close this like this. And I'm gonna line up the diagonal top edge so I don't have to fuss with that. So I'm just gonna line this up like this. And then I'm gonna find my tape, which is on this table somewhere. Here it is. Okay. All right, so the way you're going to sew this now, just going to tape that together. And I don't really want to make this any shorter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add a little scrap of paper. I'll use my little tracing paper I have here just to even it up over here. So I'm basically just going to tape some paper right here. And I really just need a tiny little scrap because I'm just going to even up this bottom edge like this. So now, let me just get this like this. Okay, so oops. Okay, so see, basically I just filled that in, that little divot there. And I'll cut this little part off right here. Okay, so now the way you're going to sew this on is you're going to, after you hem, so what I did was I hemmed here first, and I folded the bottom hem under like this. So I hemmed this, then I positioned it here, and what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to, because now it's narrower, baste it onto this side, baste it onto this side, stretch the bottom as you sew the bottom in place. Okay, and a little 3/8 of an inch difference. This will be very easy to stretch onto this piece. And I think that will hold whatever's in your pocket more closely to your leg. I just felt like there was a little bit too much play in the pocket when I had my phone in it. So that's my fine tuning for the pocket. Also, I think when I do my next one, I'm going to move it up maybe 4 or 5 inches. It was a little bit low in reality. I mean, I could reach for my phone fine, but it was a little bit low on my leg. And then, you know, I felt it as I was, you know, walking around and exercising. So I think the pocket needs to really be, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say up here. So my next pocket is going to be here. And I'm going to test that. And obviously you can see here I'm going to have to make a new pattern piece because this now will be a little bit too narrow. But basically I'm going to put the pocket up here instead of down here where I had it. So those are the changes I'm going to make to my pocket for the side panel of my yoga pants. I'm going to hike it up here. I'm going to make it about 3/8 of an inch narrower than the panel. And then I'm going to stretch it and stitch it here, stretch it and stitch it there, and then stretch, the bottom will be stretched when you top stitch it on. So that takes care of my yoga pants situation. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And let's see. Just gonna pin it together so I don't lose it, because you know, little pieces can get lost. So I'm excited to try another pair. Also, I want to mention to anybody, if anyone would like some of my Yummy Yoga Pants fabric, it is, it's smooth on one side and it's double brushed or brushed on the inside. It's Dry Max antimicrobial real deal yoga pants fabric. So, you know, this is the kind of fabric you would see in, this is the kind of fabric you would see at like Athleta or Lululemon. Oh, Mary's asking me, what machine stitch are you going to use? Let me show you. I'm going to take these yoga pants off so I can show you the pocket. Hold on one second. All right, I'm just putting on my little shorts here. All right. Okay, so I wanted to use a stitch that anybody had, so I didn't want to use my cover hem because some people don't have sergers with a cover hem feature. So the best stitch to use if you really want it to stretch and be durable is the triple or three-step zigzag. So let me just show you. All right, so here's what they look like from the front. Okay, and you can see there is a little play here. Like you can see the pocket really should be narrower than the panel, because you can see even when it's relaxed, it sticks out a little bit. And then if I show you the side panel view here, you can see I used the triple, let me show you the bottom. Let me just zoom in here so you can see. So see, this is this triple zigzag. The nice thing about this triple zigzag is if I stretch this, it will stretch into a straight line almost. So there's no way that's going to pop. So that's why I like to use the triple zigzag. I know it looks a little kitschy, you know, a little homemade there, but honestly, when I'm working out, I'm looking for durability, not, you know, I mean, I could do it on a cover hem and then it would be fine as well, but you want to make sure it's not going to pop. So I used that on the top, and I also used it to hem. And on the inside, I made sure I caught both layers, or like right at the edge of the hem on the hem here, so it would lay flat and it wouldn't fold up. So that's how I sewed it on. And actually, because these pants are a little bit too big for me now, I guess what I could do is I could take out this seam, just unstitch, because I basted the pocket to it, make it a little bit shorter, stick it back in, sew my seam back up, and then I think I need to get rid of probably a ½ an inch of both my crotch extensions and a little bit of my inseam from, you know, because it's just, they're too big. But the pocket itself, I really like, but again, I'm going to move it up here because it's a little bit too low on my leg. And then for the bottom, I used narrow bands to finish that. Oh, Mary says it doesn't look like homemade because she's seen zigzag on her stretch clothes. Yeah, it is. I mean, you're right. I associate that kind of stitch though with like a home sewing machine, but you are right. I'm sure it is, you know, they are on ready to wear as well, but it really is the most effective stitch. So anyway, well, Mary, I'm glad you're commenting along with me, because you're the only person commenting. I don't know if everybody else is just watching in the background or whatnot, but at least I feel like I'm, you know, streaming with somebody today. All right, now I want to show you my next topic is going to be working with that Bias Blueprints book again. And if you remember, the one that I'm wearing, It's doesn't lay flat against my back. I didn't bother taking the darts out and trying to fix it. You know, it's just been sitting in my dress form. I will tell you though, having a ditto form with your size really does help mold the fabric to your shape. So even though this is not correct and it's kind of funky because I cut it too small to get my lines to match, it's transforming or slowly molding into my shape. But the back, I think, is always going to be gapey. So you can see what I'm talking about. It's a little bit too big across here. So I was looking through the Bias Blueprint book, and what I noticed was after the basic projects, she actually has projects that use templates for the neckline and armhole. And the interesting thing about that is, if you remember, or if you were here when I made this blue one that I'm wearing, the instructions for the armhole was literally, you cut a little ½ inch. Okay, see right here, you literally are cutting a ½ inch away from the fold on the sides. And so the total depth front to back of your armhole is only 1 inch. And I think I need wider than that because of my because of my G cup bust line. I think that might be part of my problem, that the armhole is so narrow. So when I was looking through this book, if I go over to this one, this is the blouse with a round neckline instead of just leaving it. Tiana goes, "I'm here, Jen. Don't feel ignored. We're all hooked." No, I know. I just, you know, I didn't mean that you. I'm not pressuring anyone to comment along with me. I was just happy that Mary was, you know, asking me questions. All right. So notice how wide this armhole is, and actually, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm yawning. Just between us, my little new puppy Dasha was a pain in the butt last night. She woke up at 3. I took her out. She cried for half an hour. She woke up again before 6, and I didn't get her out because I'm really trying to get her to stay in her crate till 6. And finally at 6:20, I got out of bed because she wouldn't stop hussing around in her crate. So I'm a little tired today. All right, so this is what I want to test. The armholes for this style blouse are actually sized. So when we go to the template for that, on page 175, you can see this looks like a graded pattern, right? So the way you pick the size armhole is by your high bust if you're bigger than a D cup. So if you're an A, B, or C, you're using your full bust to find your measurement on the chart to figure out what size you are. If you're a D plus cup, you use your high bust. So I actually used my high bust to do that, and I ended up being the large, which is refreshing because normally I'm an extra large or greater. So I was kind of excited. Ooh, I'm a large. So I traced this purple line right here. And the dashed line is if you're sleeveless. The solid line is if you're going to put a sleeve. So I traced the dashed line. And then, oh, excuse me. And then I did the back. So my full template looks like this. And obviously, it's very hard to see because I just use a pen. So I think what I'll do is I know when I draw on this thin paper, it transfers onto my cutting mat. So I'm going to use my yoga pants as sort of a blotter to protect my thing. But basically, I'm just going to draw this so you can see it. This is the template for the armhole in size large. So I'm just darkening it from my pen. So I trace both halves. Okay, so we've got that. This is the front, this is the back, and this is the fold line, I guess, of where we're going to position this. So that's my armhole that I traced. Then I also traced the front neckline template for my size, which looks like this. You know, and then it's got center, front, and top edge guidelines here. So let me just draw those in. Okay, so this is my front neckline template like this, and then this is my back neckline right here. Oh, by the way, Tana, if you're listening, I did get your email about adjusting the top to lower the seam for the top that I did the week before I left for Kansas, and I will show you something for that as well since you're here. All right, so that's my back neckline template, my front neckline template, and my armhole. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to apply these holes to my tube that I made, and then we'll try it on and see what it does compared to what this one does. And remember, I used my exact measurements, not I didn't trim it down. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to go to the beginning of the instructions and move my yoga pants out of the way for good. And then I'm going to move my template out of the way for a minute, and I'm going to get my tube over here. Now, so this is what I'm talking about. My tube, okay, so you can see here, I think you can tell, see how my seams almost match perfectly? So I've got one seam here, one seam here. So these are the two seams here and here. And then this is this was the seam I used to actually sew the tube together. So that's what my tube looks like, and it makes it very busy to have almost a plus sign. So I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put it so that it's on the side. So basically I'm going to move this whole thing over so that the intersection of all those seams is off to the side like this. Some more, I'm going to move it. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm positioning my tube so that the seams that I made can be, you know, where I want them on the garment. So I'm creating my front and my back. So let me just see what this looks like on this side. Okay, so this side just has this one little seam here. The rest of it is solid. Let me move it over just a little bit more like this. All right, I think I'm going to do this. So my front is only going to have this one little thing right here, and then my back is going to have a seam that goes up to the center back, or almost the center back here, and then there's also another seam here. So that my back is going to have two seams. My front is just going to have, oh, I'm a ding dong. I'm sorry. There is a seam here too, but see, this seam is less obvious because it's going in the direction of the stripes. So I have two seams, front and back, and I'll use the more obvious one in the back, and I'll have this like this. So this is how I'm gonna make my tube. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm going to mark the sides, and I'm going to put clips because clips don't fall off. So what we'll do is I'll have, you know, a clip here. I'll use blue clips for my side seams. And then last time I made my first tube, I actually made my front, my back, and my back, my front. So I'm going to have this be my front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these clips together like this. and that will tell me where my center, front, and back are. So this is going to be my center front. I'm going to use a red clip for front, center front, and I'll use a green clip for center back. So now I've marked all of my center, front, and back, and this is going to be my back, this is going to be my front, this is where my armholes are going to be. Hi Diane, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's okay that you're late. I love it that you guys come and, you know, watch. And also I know that you guys have other things to do besides, you know, sewing related things, so I get it. I just appreciate all of you. All right, so now that I've marked everything, we're going to switch it. So, well, actually, I'm going to leave it like this. So I've got my front here, I've got my back here. I'll make sure everything's laying nice and flat. I'm not going to have my tube hang off the table either because I don't want it to stretch. So once I get it to lay nice, I'm going to fold it up on itself like this so it's not hanging off my table. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, let me just move this over. I'm going to cut out my template for my armhole, and we're going to cut out the armhole. And I'm just going to finish this like this. All right, so I'm going to cut this out. Here's my rotary cutter. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I'm yawning. My puppy is going to do me in. All right, what did I do with my rotary cutter? Rotary cutter. Rotary cutter. All right. Oh my God, I was just using it. It cannot be lost. I put the stupid thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I lost my rotary cutter. Did it fall on the floor? No, it did not. I didn't move it over here. Okay, this is really annoying. I'm just going to use the smaller one because I have no idea where it went. It's, oh my God, it's right here. I'm so sorry. All right, let me just cut this out. Sorry. Cutting out the rotary with the rotary cutter, my template, like this. Okay. All right. I don't know, I just have a good feeling. Oh, thank you, Tana. It is right in front of me. I had to throw away my 45mm yellow one because it was just all done. I know, Diane, thank you. So now I'm using, this is a vintage special edition one that I've had in my stash for probably 20 years. And I hadn't been using it, so it's like brand new. So I switched over to this, and it was blending in with my fabric, honestly. All right, let's lay this out now, like this. And I want to make sure that my clips are right on top of each other, like that. And everything is nice and neat. I'm going to take my template, and I'm going to center it on my clips like this. And remember, the green is the back, the red is the front. This is my back, this is back, this is front. I'm going to line up the top of the template with the top of my tube like this, and I'll just clip it there. So basically, I'm just going to be really brave, and I'm just going to cut that right out. Oh, I love you, Lynn. All right, so let's just be brave, and I'm just gonna literally use some of my tiny pattern weights here to hold this. And I'm just going to cut this out. See, I'm doing it fearlessly. Does anybody remember what else I made from this fabric? This is leftover fabric from another project I did this year. All right, so now I've got my armhole cut out. Then, oops. So there's my armholes. I'm feeling very confident that this may be better shaped for me. Oh, Mary goes, you can even put your hand right on it a couple of times while you're looking for it. Oh my God. Well, that's like when, you know, you're talking on the phone and you're looking for your phone. I've done that a couple times. I'm telling you, I think it's because I'm getting old. All right, so that takes care of that. The next thing I'm going to cut out is my 2 templates for my necklines. And I'm not going to really cut those out because you need to have the guides for them. So there's my back, here's my front. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this over so you can see this is my center front right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this like this so that the edge of the template, let me cut it out so you can see, actually, my center front and my shoulder, or, you know, the top. That's going to go right here like this. So I'm lining it up with the center front edge like this and like this. And I'm going to cut that out. And I'm kind of excited to see, you know, how this comes out. So let's just cut this out and see. Here's my front. There's my front neckline. That was fun. And then I'm going to come over here and do my back. So my back neckline is going to look like this. Oops. Again, I'm lining it up right with the edges here. And I'm just going to cut it out. All right, so now I have a back and a front neckline. So now let's look and see how this is going to look. So now I'm going to flop it like this. So let's just sew these shoulder seams and let's see how it comes out. This is kind of cool. Oh, Lynn loves me too. Oh, Diane's done that too with the phone. I know, it's so funny the things that happen. Now, for some reason, and I don't know why, maybe it wasn't folded right, my shoulder seams are not the same length by like an inch. So maybe using the clips did not give me the exact position of my center front, center back, and side edges. So I'm just going to push it off to the side for now. I'm going to line it up like this, and I'll just I'll true that up that way. Let's try that, because if I turn it in this way, oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna move it so that my tips of my shoulders match, because I can just carve out this neckline, because I don't want to make my front smaller because I'm very broad across my front. So I'm just going to pin these, and then we'll see what's going on with that neckline. And actually, subconsciously, one of the things I was going to play with today was putting more fabric in front and less in the back, because I'm wider here and I'm not as wide in back. So maybe subconsciously that's what I did. But really I think because I use the, I think it's because I use the clips. So I'm going to push everything in towards the center in the front here, and let's see what that looks like. I'm just going to baste it, and if it's not good, I can take it back out. So let me pin these together. Now remember, the other thing is, a lot of times you want to have some shoulder slope, right, coming down a little bit. I don't have a huge shoulder slope, so I'm just going to base straight across for now and see how they fit. So let's get the sewing machine over here and try it. So I'm literally just gonna use my biggest stitch length of 5.0, and I'm gonna just baste these together. Just inside my stay stitching here. Okay. All right, let's do this one and see. This is the one that's hanging off. This is kind of instant gratification. After you make your tube, it doesn't take a lot to cut out the neckline and armhole and try it. All right. All right, so, hi, Marianne. Oh, you love this fabric? This fabric, I wish I had bought more of it. It was not expensive. It was at the store in Connecticut that has like end of bolts and, you know, just different things that are not super expensive. It's a cotton linen blend. It's really nice. So let me just take off this. I have a tank top on, so no one will be afraid. All right, so let's put this on and see what's happening here. So this is like real results. All right, so, all right, so I feel like this is, I can't, you guys, I'm going to turn around. You guys tell me if my back neckline is laying flat. Okay, I can't tell. It feels like it is, but let me know if the back neckline looks good. The front neckline looks good. I am much happier with this top, and because I didn't add length, the cool thing is it just ends at my waist, which is really nice because, you know, I'm wearing my pants up higher now. So see, my pants are usually up here, and it's nice if the top doesn't, you know, if it you know, if it stops high hip, yay. So I think this is a much more successful version of the bias top. And I don't think I really need to play with my shoulders. I see I'm very straight. So yay. So super excited about this. And I think it's going to fit. I'm going to put it on my dress form and let it hang. Oh, all right. So I'm glad that I decided to, you know, venture further in the book and look for other design options. I think for me, honestly, it's because I have more depth in my armhole. When I was thinking about it, think about if I only had a 1-inch slit for an armhole here, all of this fabric, you know, more fabric here and not enough armhole, I don't think. So I'm pretty pleased with this. So yay. All right, so super excited. And then if we look at it close, let's just look close. So you can see here I have a little, my seam is here, so it'll go from here to the side seam. And then I have it again down, down here, see, here. So I think that'll be cute. So I'm gonna finish this, and then I can like wear this as a shell under a cardigan, you know, for the fall. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. All right, so yay. All right, so just to remind you, if you came late, I did a fine tuning of my, Mary says, wait a minute, Mary says the armhole does come down far. It is, so you know what I can do? All I have to do is just pick the entire shoulder up a little bit like that. Like if I sew it just a little bit deeper all the way around, that'll work out fine. So basically Mary is correct. This is a little bit low. So if I pick up the entire shoulder, I'm not going to change the slope, but I can just pick it up just that little bit and it will be better. So I will do that, Mary. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm going to really take a look at myself in the mirror when we're done. And you can see here, I'm going to have to just fix my neckline. But you know what else that's telling me? So think about this. If you have this book, instead of putting your side seams or the folds where your armholes are going to be on the exact flat half, you could pinch in the center front an inch, and that would give you an extra inch on each side. So see, like I have an inch over here and I have an inch over here. I think that's another reason why it's fitting nicely, because I have a lot right here, right? So pulling it in and giving me more room, I think also helped. And like I said, I was thinking about doing that, and then I'm like, no, I'm just going to try it. But then when I did use the clips probably the way I clipped them wasn't exactly center. They were a little forward or backward. So that actually was a happy accident. So now I know that my inclination was right. So, you know, so what I mean by that is, let me just show you here. So like, let's say this was my tube. I'm just going to use this scrap as my tube. Okay, let's pretend this is the tube right here. And let's pretend it's, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap it like this so I can tape it shut. So I'm going to pretend, I'm going to make it into a tube so we don't have to pretend. So here's our tube. Now, I think this is really just for people who have like a, I don't want to say huge bust, but I have a huge bust. I have a G cup. All right, so let me just show you this, and then I'm going to look at what Lazarus wrote. All right, so here's the tube. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so the idea is, let's use this as the top. You want to find your exact, the instructions are, where's my, like a blue, oh, let me use this pen. All right, so the instructions are, you find the exact fold is where your sides are, and that's where you line up the front and back, or the, well, first, let me just find the center. So this is going to be, let's pretend that was one, so I'm going to center those together here, right? So now this is going to be my center front and back, oh wait, center front and back like this, right? Then you mark these, this fold here, and you mark this fold here, and that's where your armhole is going to be here, right? So you just trace, like we trace the armhole like this, and then we cut it out. So before you do that, now how would that work? A minute. So if it's like this again, this is going to be our, let me just put this back over here for a second. This is going to be, hold on, all right, this is our armhole, hold on. So that was what our armholes was. Oh, okay, so you know what it is. This is how you can do it. So this is the back, this is the front. So all you have to do if you want to give yourself, thank you, Diane. If you want to give yourself a little bit more here and a little bit less here, right? Because this is the back. All you have to do is, after you find your exact center, slide it over an inch and move the whole thing over towards the back a little bit. So your back will be slightly smaller and your front will be slightly larger. Okay, so find where your armhole is going to be and then shift it over an inch. And that will give you an extra 2 inches in the front and an extra less in the back. And I think partly that might be why that my back neckline is fitting me better. I needed more room in the front. So Just shift your armhole template over an inch once you find the original center. And then you can cut out your neckline. Then you've got your, your front neckline and your back neckline here. All right, so that's, I do think if you have a large bust, I think that will help you. Oh, Tana says, what if you ease in? I probably could ease in a little bit of it, but I think an inch on a short shoulder seam like this would be a lot to ease in, because I think the whole total shoulder is only, let's look at it. The entire shoulder is only 4 inches. So that's 25% that you would have to ease in there. That might be a little bit too much to ease. And then let me just see. Lazarus says, hi there. I would pull your back piece a bit more than the front at the outer edge. The outer edge. I don't know what that means. All right, so here's my back. I don't know what that means. See, if I lined this up with this, it would have made my back too large, because it would have added 2 inches in my back neckline. So, but anyway, I think I'm really happy with this, and I'm glad I took the time to match my stripes. Oh, pull it up, you mean? Oh, so you're saying pick up this an inch or a little bit more? Is that what you're saying, Lazarus? So shorten the back armhole, is that what you're saying? I'm going to look at myself in my 2-mirror setup just to make sure everything's hanging right. I'm also going to let it hang on my dress form before I change anything, to see what happens when it stretches out. So it may be that I will have to adjust the shoulder seams a little bit, but I don't know. I'm pretty excited about this, because I was a little bit disappointed with the first one, because I had all that extra in the back, and and then it didn't look lovely and whatever. But anyway, so I am very happy with this. I will check on that, Lazarus, and I will see. Oh, it's drooping. All right, so pull your back piece up more than the front piece at the outer edge. Okay, so I will look at that for the droop, but also I'm going to let it fall before I do anything, because a lot of times, I will tell you, letting it fall or sit on something that's your size. So I am so lucky I have my Ditto form. It really molds to my shape, and things fit better after I let it fall. So I'm going to let it fall first, then I'm going to put it back on and see, but I will keep an eye on that. I will look for the drooping, but I am excited about this. And yeah, this was a fun one. So remember, if you're making your yoga pants, oh, Mary says the back armhole has extra fabric. All right, I will definitely take a look at that in my 2-way mirror, and I will figure out if I need to balance it and pull it up a little bit. So I appreciate you being my back eyeballs, because I can't see what's going on back there. I was just so happy when people said the neckline looked okay, because if it was still really too big, I think I would have been very sad, because I was almost sure that increasing the amount I took out of those armholes, on the side here like this, like, cutting more out here would then make it fit better in the back. So I was really happy that that was the case. But any case, I am going to work on that. I'm going to look at myself in my 2-way mirror so I can see the back, the front. I will fit the back, pull it up. I'll let it hang. I'll finish the neckline and armholes, and I will model it for you next week. So next week, I'm probably going to start a new topic because we're going into fall, and I'm going to start wanting to work on some of my cooler weather projects. So super excited about that. And I appreciate everyone who came to, um, came to hang out with me today. Oh, Lazarus says it's beautiful though, even as it is. Oh, yay. Yay. Yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I'm really glad that I took off the extra length and I tried that different method of making the bias tube. So, and again, if anybody wants a copy of this book, you can get $10 off the spiral bound version that's author signed. There's a link in the description below. There's a link to the shirt jacket class I'm teaching tomorrow. If anybody suddenly had plans cancel, this is such a nice project. This is my daughter Anna's. All I have to do to finish it is put the all I have to do to finish this is put the buttons on, and it's done. Buttons and buttonholes. So that's Anna's. And then, like I said, I'm going to be using my Pendleton wool to make my own this weekend. And then on Monday at 6 o'clock, I'm uploading cool tools for this week. It's a fabric haul from the Kansas City Makers Studio and Fabric. And I have a plaid flannel in there that is to die for. I'm going to make my dad a new shirt jacket for Christmas with 2 chest pockets, because he has to have pockets to hold my mom's tissues and other important things. So he's not wearing the one I made him last Christmas because I didn't put pockets on it. So pockets on my dad's. I will show you that plaid on Monday, along with a few other fabrics I purchased, and a coupon code to go shopping. So that's going to be fun. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's a holiday weekend, so enjoy Columbus Day. If you have that off, yay, maybe you can do some more sewing. And I will be spending quality time with my students Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 5 Eastern Standard Time in the shirt jacket class with Fabric Mart. So any weekend I'm teaching is a great weekend. So I'm happy. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next week for my full schedule. We will have Bit Tip Tuesday, subscriber Q&A, and you will see my finished bias tube top. I'll be modeling it, and then we'll start a new topic next week too as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to start to ramble, so I'm going to hang up now. So anyway, have a nice weekend. Bye.